as we explore quantum body and more, I have been asked this question a lot recently, and that is when I refer to pure consciousness or infinite awareness. Am I referring to the divine or to God? Is the quantum field God? And the answer is no, the quantum field is not God. The quantum mind is not God. The quantum body is not God. But the closest entity that we could call God without turning into religious dogma is pure consciousness. Okay, so pure consciousness, and I've been speaking about this forever now, is fundamental, irreducible, formless, borderless, infinite, incomprehensible, irreducible, not perceivable, not conceivable, but that which is the subject of all experience. So pure consciousness is the subject of all experience. The mind is a modified form of consciousness, which is a relational and embodied process in pure consciousness. The body is a perceptual activity, a changing in perceptual activity in consciousness, as is the universe, although the universe recycles as experience with the regularities that we call natural laws, and it also evolves into new form and phenomena. So pure consciousness is always differentiating itself to species and culture specific knowers, modes of knowing, and entities known all within itself. What we call the physical world, and the physical body, is a modified perceptual activity, and it is species specific and frequently culture specific. So there are innumerable modes of knowing, and biological organisms are modes of knowing. And pure consciousness is that which is differentiating into all these knowers, modes of knowing, and entities known within itself. Consciousness knows itself as experience, and the experience requires a knower, a mode of knowing, and that which is known. So, religions have their own dogmas and ideologies, but they all understand that the universe is a mystery and incomprehensible and huge and vast, and they all in some way think of a higher intelligence and try to conceptualize it, except that it can't be conceptualized. So, many Western people think of God as a dead white male in the sky, even though, Moses, when he speaks to the burning bush, realizes that God is I am, formless, incomprehensible. And of course, the monotheistic religions do talk about not confusing idols with God, that God is formless. And yet, of course, most people have this idea, thanks to culture and art and poetry and literature, that at least in the West, they think of God as male and visualize God on a throne and heaven, etc., etc. In the Eastern traditions like Hinduism, God is frequently symbolized as deities, women, men, and with extraordinary features, multiple eyes, multiple hands, basically saying that the formless can be experienced in innumerable modes and innumerable perspectives. So they are all going towards the truth. And then all these religions and cultures also have their rituals, etc., to worship God, um, to 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 invoke the divine and the presence of the divine. So, in a sense, everyone's looking for God and not able to find it. So, here is something that I suggest that you try and examine, understand, and experience, so that God is never difficult to find. God is impossible to avoid. Understanding God is pure consciousness. Okay, so now think of perception. Let's start this exercise. Look at this book. That's a finite perception. By finite, I mean it's time bound. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And actually, when I see it or feel it, the sensation is very finite. All I have to do is remove my hand, look elsewhere, and this disappears. Okay, so every perception is time bound. Every perception is time bound. Every thought is time bound. It arises, dies immediately. Every feeling, every image, every idea, everything that we can see, touch, taste, smell is a finite experience. But that finite experience requires the presence of awareness, which is unbounded, infinite. In the absence of awareness, which is infinite, there is no time-bound perception. So the infinite or divine or God or consciousness or awareness is present in every finite experience, whatever that finite experience is, mental, emotional, perceptual, relational, doesn't matter. The experience is of the Milky Way galaxy, a tree, a rock, a hand, a painting. Whatever the experience is, it requires the presence of the infinite as awareness. So the infinite or the divine is present in every experience, whether it's mental or perceptual. I'll repeat that. The infinite divine is present in every time-bound, finite experience, whatever that experience is. You cannot have the experience in the absence of awareness, just like you can't see images here in the absence of the screen. Okay, I was looking at a mirror this morning, brushing my teeth, and in the mirror I saw myself, and I saw the furniture, I saw a couple of paintings, whatever was in the background behind me, and there was depth to it. You know, even here you can see a little bit depth. You can see that my hand is in front of the painting, okay, or my body is in front of the painting. You feel the depth, but when you touch the screen, it's all one. Okay, same thing with the mirror. So whether I'm looking at a star, the sun, the moon, a tree, a rock, myself, or looking at my thoughts or feelings, emotions, desires, memories, imagination, they're as close to me, and I'm pointing here, shows that's wrong. They're as close to me in awareness as the images on the screen. Intimate, one. The images on the screen are one with the screen. In fact, they are modifications of the screen. So, in the same way, Mars, Pluto, Jupiter, the sun, the moon, trees, rocks, plants, animals, and this body, and the thoughts I'm having about all this, and other thoughts, they're all fluctuations in myself, which is awareness. And that is the divine presence in every experience. The divine is present in every experience as infinite awareness. The experience is in time, including the experience of body, mind, and the world is in time, but I am is not in time. So I know I'm repeating myself, but here's what happens if you start looking at every perceptual activity as a fluctuation of yourself, including the perceptual activity that you call your body, or a rock, or Pluto, all fluctuations of yourself. You also realize that not only they're fluctuations of yourself, they're as close to you in awareness as your thought or your body or the starlit sky. As close as these images are to the screen. Not only that, I am is independent of these fluctuations as well, because the fluctuations come and go. I am remains. And I am is not the body. Okay? The body appears in I am. This is what Lord Krishna says when he, as speaking as pure consciousness, he says, I'm the field, I'm the knower of the field, but he goes further. He says, Prakritim swam vashtpai vishrajami puna puna. Going back within myself, I create again and again. And what do I create? I create mind, body, and the entangled universe, all as one unified process, recycling and evolving all within myself. That also is the meaning of the phrase Aham Brahmasmi. So let me know if you find this useful. I find it very useful because now I find God or the divine presence in every experience. God is not difficult to find. God is impossible to avoid. And that's very joyful.